I'm going to be doing a little bit of seed blocking today. I am going to be working with my 2-inch one. There's 4 cells that are 2 inches each. I have done a few trays this year with this little guy. There's 16 cells that are each half an inch. I did really like this. The germination rate was amazing. I used some peppers seeds that I had saved out of a grocery store pepper, and I think I probably got about an 80% germination rate, which for me is pretty good. I have a really hard time with peppers. I don't know why, but every year I've had a hard time with germinating peppers. So today I'm actually going to be starting some sugar baby watermelons. A lot of those. We eat a lot of watermelon, and I like to be able to grow enough that we can kind of share with family and friends too. So, and then some okra, because okra flowers are beautiful. Okra tastes good, but okra flowers are beautiful. And some lemongrass that I probably should have already started like a few weeks ago, but we'll see what happens. So let's go ahead and mix up some soil. So for my mix, I'm going to be using equal parts. This is going to be my measuring cup. It's just a pot, but it's equal parts, so it doesn't matter. I'm going to be using equal parts of vermiculite, some sifted compost from our yard, and some pre-hydrated. I hydrated this last night so that it was really thoroughly and evenly hydrated coconut coir. Now we need to mix it all together. You can use a shovel, you can use a rake, whatever. I'm going to use my hands. All right, now we need to add some water. This is going to make it stick together once we get it in the blocks and hold together really well. So we want it very evenly hydrated. I'm just going to pour some water in here and just kind of eyeball it, do a little bit at a time, and just kind of add as needed. You're going to know that it's ready. It'll start to look lumpy in here whenever you're mixing it, kind of like this. You're going to squeeze it together like a snowball, and if it sticks together, then it's ready. Ready. Okay, so I have my seed blocker, my soil mix. You can get a flat. It's something similar to this, minus the ridges. These ridges will make the soil blocks kind of crumble and fall over time. So you don't want to use one of these, but you can get a flat. I don't have a flat, so I'm using an old cookie sheet that my kids played with outside. I confiscated it back for a little while. So you're just going to take your seed blocker, dig it down in your soil, kind of scoop it up. You can use your hands and pack it in. You can use a shovel and pack it in. I use my hands for everything, so that's what I'm using. And then, again, you can use your hand, a shovel, whatever. Just kind of flatten this out. Make sure you're smashing it down in there really well. I'm going to use an old board. It's just easier for me. Kind of flatten it out. And then what you're going to do is put it on your cookie sheet. I'm going to show you guys on the table so you can see it. Push down, pull up on your handle, and there's your seed blocks. Mine has this little knob on it right here. It just pushes a little hole in the top so my kids don't have to do it. For you to set your seed down in just makes things a little bit more organized, a little bit easier. I have done a tray here. I overestimated how many I was going to fit, so there's just an awkward amount in there. But let's go ahead and put some seeds in. All right, so I'm going to start with my lemongrass. I meant to start this like probably 2 months ago, and I didn't, so now here I am. I'm just going to sprinkle a few of them into each of these holes. Try to get it in the hole as best as I can. I don't know if you've ever seen lemongrass, but pretty wispy. I'm just going to do 1 row of those. That's something I'll also be sowing outside, so I'm not really worried about starting a whole lot. I like to start seeds, so I start a lot of seeds. We don't eat a lot of okra, so I'm just going to start 4 plants. I'm mainly growing it because the flowers are really pretty. And we do like fried okra. It's just not something we eat a lot. And last, but definitely not least, is our watermelon. I'm just going to go ahead and start 12. Between the 4 of us, we all could probably eat a whole watermelon each every single day. With these seed blocks, whenever I accidentally drop 2, I leave 2. I have absolutely demolished a whole section of seed blocks just trying to get a double seed out. So I will just pull that later or leave it and see what happens. Alright, now I'm going to take some regular coconut coir out of the bag of coconut coir that I hydrated earlier. And I'm just going to sprinkle it on top of each one of these. Okay, now all of my seeds are covered with the coconut coir. I just put a little bit on top of each of the seeds to make sure that they're covered, but the whole thing isn't covered. I've done that before where I just sprinkled it all over the top, and the coconut coir, of course, settled down into these cracks. And instead of multiple little seed blocks, I had one big seed cake, which they'll still germinate just fine. It's just going to be messy whenever you transplant it. The most important thing is to make sure that this stays hydrated. If it starts to dry out, it'll start to crumble, and it will also just never rehydrate evenly again. So what I'm going to use is one of these. I really like that you can set these to be like a fine mist instead of really a stream. And I'm going to be using the water that I strained off of some beans after soaking them. What you're soaking off of your beans is a saponin, which has a lot of benefits, but in this case, we're going to be using it to help retain moisture. So I'm going to fill this up halfway with our bean juice, as my 4-year-old calls it, and the rest of the way with water, and then just spray this down really well. And I'll just do that one time and then water it with regular water afterwards. And if it starts to look like it's getting dried out, I'll probably do another round of this. But I did an experiment with this stuff, and I did a tray. It was not seed blocks, just regular seed tray. And I started a bunch of watermelons and cucumbers, and I sprayed half of the tray with our little bean juice mixture, and the other half I've just been using regular water. And just like with this, I did the bean juice one time, and this was about 5 or 6 days ago, and have watered it with regular water since then. And the half with the bean juice on it is almost fully sprouted. The half with just plain water has, I think, 2 or 3 sprouts. So if you ask me, I would say that it works, and I'm definitely going to keep doing it for my plants. Thanks for hanging out and learning about seed blocks with me today. If you have any suggestions, anything that you've done before that has worked for you, or things that you've tried that have not worked, I would love to hear all about your experience down in the comments. And until next time, thanks for watching.